Its striking pink variegated leaves shimmer under the light, a true spectacle for any plant lover. You've probably seen it all over social media or admired it in the home of a fellow plant enthusiast. Yes, we're talking about the Pink Princess Philodendron, the crown jewel of indoor plants. But owning one is just the beginning. What if I told you that you could grow an entire collection from a single plant? That's right. You can propagate this beauty and turn one into many, all while nurturing your green thumb. Today, we'll guide you step by step through the exciting and rewarding process of propagating your very own Pink Princess, ensuring you know every secret to success. 1. Understanding the Pink Princess Philodendron, the basics of this exotic plant. Before diving into propagation, it's essential to understand the unique characteristics of the Pink Princess Philodendron, Philodendron erubescens. Known for its eye-catching pink and green leaves, this plant is native to the rainforests of South America, where it thrives under the canopy of taller trees. Unlike many other houseplants, the Pink Princess has a stunning variegation of pink splashes across its leaves. This mutation is what makes the plant so sought after, but it also presents a unique challenge. The propagation process can affect the variegation. The Pink Princess grows similarly to other philodendrons, fast and with relatively low maintenance. However, its variegation comes from a genetic mutation that doesn't always carry over to new growth. When propagating, your goal is to maximize the chances of keeping that signature pink intact. But don't worry, we'll show you how. 2. Getting started. What you'll need for a successful propagation. Before we delve into the actual process of propagating, let's take stock of the tools and materials you'll need. Preparation is key for a successful propagation, and ensuring you have the right tools at hand will make the entire process smoother and more effective. Here's a quick checklist. A healthy Pink Princess Philodendron, with at least a few mature stems. Sharp, sterilized pruning shears or scissors, a clean cutting board or surface, rooting hormone, optional, but highly recommended for quicker root development. Small pots or containers for the cuttings, high quality, well-draining soil mix, a blend of peat, perlite, and orchid bark works well. Watering can or spray bottle, clear plastic bags or propagation domes, for humidity control. Patience. You'll need plenty of it. Each item plays a crucial role in the propagation process, ensuring your cuttings grow strong and healthy roots. It's important to use sterilized tools to prevent the risk of bacterial or fungal infections, which can significantly reduce the chances of successful propagation. 3. Choosing the perfect stem for propagation. The key to success. The most critical part of the propagation process is selecting the right stem to cut. Not all parts of your Pink Princess will propagate equally, so it's vital to identify a stem that has the best chance of success. Look for stems with at least 2 or 3 nodes. Nodes are the small, knobby areas where leaves and roots grow from the stem. A node is the magic spot where new roots will form, so make sure your chosen stem has visible, healthy nodes. Ideally, you want a section of stem that also has at least 1 or 2 healthy leaves. Leaves are important because they allow the plant to continue photosynthesis even after being cut, supporting the development of new roots. Pro tip: when selecting a stem, aim for one that has a good balance of green and pink variegation. While it's impossible to control the exact amount of pink variegation in future growth, starting with a well-variegated stem gives you a better chance of maintaining that iconic look in the propagated plant. 4. The cutting process. How to make the perfect cut. Once you've identified the ideal stem, it's time to make the cut. Using your sterilized pruning shears or scissors, make a clean cut just below a node. The cutting should be around 4–6 inches long, with at least 1 leaf and 2 nodes. The cut needs to be clean and sharp. Ragged or damaged cuts can lead to infection and reduce the chances of successful rooting. After making your cut, you can dip the cut end in rooting hormone powder. While this step is optional, It can significantly speed up the rooting process by stimulating the growth of new roots. Rooting hormone is especially helpful if you're propagating during the cooler months when growth tends to be slower. 5. Water propagation versus soil propagation. Which method to choose? There are two popular methods for propagating the Pink Princess Philodendron: water propagation and soil propagation. Each method has its pros and cons, so the best option depends on your personal preferences and the environment you're working in. Water propagation. Water propagation is often the preferred method for beginners because it allows you to watch the roots develop in real time. To propagate in water, place your cutting in a clean jar or glass of water, ensuring that at least one node is submerged. Change the water every few days to prevent stagnation and bacterial growth. One of the main benefits of water propagation is that it's easier to spot early signs of root development. Plus, watching your plant grow can be a rewarding experience. However, transitioning the plant from water to soil later can sometimes shock the roots, so this method requires extra care during transplantation. Soil propagation. For those who prefer a more hands-off approach, soil propagation may be the way to go. After dipping your cutting in rooting hormone, optional, plant it directly in a small pot filled with well-draining soil. Make sure the node is buried beneath the soil, as this is where the roots will form. Water the soil lightly and place the pot in a warm, humid area with bright, indirect light. The main advantage of soil propagation is that the cutting is already adjusted to its final growing medium, making the transition easier once roots are established. However, you won't be able to monitor root development as easily as you would with water propagation, so patience is key. 6. The waiting game. How to care for your propagated cutting. Propagation is not an overnight process, and this is where patience becomes your best friend. Whether you've chosen water or soil propagation, your cutting will need time to establish roots and grow into a healthy plant. If you're propagating in water, you should start seeing tiny roots within 2 to 4 weeks. Once the roots reach about 2–3 inches in length, you can transfer the cutting to soil. Be sure to handle the roots with care, as they are fragile and can be easily damaged. For soil propagation, keep the cutting in a humid environment to encourage root development. Placing a clear plastic bag or propagation dome over the pot can help maintain humidity levels, especially if you live in a dry climate. Just be sure to remove the cover every few days to allow for air circulation, preventing mold or rot from forming. 7. Transplanting your cutting. Moving from water to soil. If you started with water propagation, it's time to transfer your cutting to soil once the roots have developed. Choose a small pot with good drainage, and fill it with a mix of peat, perlite, and orchid bark. Gently plant the cutting in the soil, making sure the roots are covered but the leaves remain above the surface. Water the soil lightly and place the plant in a bright, warm spot with indirect light. This is a delicate time for your new plant, so be mindful of overwatering. The roots are still adjusting to their new environment, and too much water can lead to root rot. Keep the soil slightly moist but not soggy, and avoid placing the plant in direct sunlight until it has fully acclimated. Conclusion: you've done it. From selecting the perfect cutting to nurturing its growth, you've learned how to propagate the beautiful Pink Princess step by step. As you watch your new plants thrive, not only will your indoor garden bloom with vibrant pink hues, but you'll also have the satisfaction of knowing you multiplied this exotic beauty yourself. With time, care, and attention, your Pink Princess collection will grow into a spectacular showcase of nature's artistry.